I'm not a religious person, as evidenced by the fact that I swear more often than I say my own name, but I figure if there is a creator, I might as well try to strike up a dialogue with him because I have a lot of questions and he has a lot to answer for. And I wasn't sure of a better way to get my words out into the universe than to write a big long letter and then read it out loud to people who could probably do without. So without further me talking just incessantly, this is my open letter to Jesus. Dear Jesus, hey big guy, how's it hanging? No offense. We're off to a great start. I know you haven't heard from me since around age 11 because that's when I learned my first magic trick and subsequently discovered the difference between real and fake. Also, that's when I began to figure out what my wiener does, and it's obviously been nothing but downhill from there. I mean, let's face it, unless you can reach your all-knowing, omnipotent hand down here and teach me some ancient pig-wiggling techniques that'll convert me into a believer for all of eternity, you really don't stand a chance against my hairy palms and a picture of a grandma. By the way, is there any similarity between the pearly gates and a pearl necklace? Because if so, heaven sounds like something I could really get on board with. Conversely, if upon my ascension into God's kingdom, St. Peter greets me by ejaculating on my collarbone before selfishly rolling over and falling asleep, leaving me stunned and a little sexually confused, I think I'd rather go to hell because after a demon does that to me, I bet he's considerate enough to rip me to pieces forever, so at least I'd have something to do. Now that I have your attention because you're undoubtedly adding me to some kind of holy blacklist, kind of racist, just saying, I have some questions that I think only the Almighty can answer. Why did you insist on dressing like a hobo, and what benefits did you garner as a result? Did you get a lot of free sandwiches? I like free sandwiches. What was your average daily sandwich obtainment ratio? I think we all want to know the best way to get free sandwiches. If I want to get into heaven, do I have to pass a written test? I should warn you now that I'm really bad at math, and I did so much essay bullshitting in both high school and university that I should get a fucking medal for it, so let's just skip that part and just let me in. If you see everything, how is it that you come to allow people to post pictures of their food on Instagram and update the status of their bowel movement on Facebook? It seems kind of negligent to allow that kind of behavior to continue, while there are people who could be using that oxygen for more productive means, like breathing really heavily while Google searching pictures of animals with big dicks. Why do you let writers get fired from the shows they create? Firing Dan Harmon from Community is like cutting the wiener off a porn star and sewing it onto another guy. It's always going to be the original owner's baby, and the new guy will have no idea how to use it. How many licks does it take to get to the gooey center of a Tootsie Pop? That joke is as old as I am. If my mom is fundamentally Christian, and I kill her and then myself, can she vouch for me when we get to heaven's sacred entrance? That's usually how nightclubs work, and I don't think you should hold yourself to a higher standard than a building where people go to dance fuck each other. The atmosphere of a nightclub is reminiscent of heaven, being as it is in eternity, and similarly, most people who go to nightclubs think that the good times will last forever. The difference is, when you go to heaven, you don't wake up the next morning face down in an alleyway with a baby inside you. Isn't goddammit more of a request than an expression of vulgarity? If I want something to be condemned to the bowels of hell, who else but you has that power? Satan. If you want people to stop saying God damn it so badly, maybe you should start obliging those who say it. Like they slam their toe on a door frame, scream God damn it, and suddenly their whole house is in the hot, moist, cavernous taint of a 20-story soldier demon. I think a lot of people would stop using your name in vain if the punishment had anything to do with the hot, moist, cavernous taint of a 20-story soldier demon. Is it true that my whole dead family is up there, and if so, can you separate me from them because I really don't want to explain to 20 grandparents why I threw out their Christmas cards the same afternoon they were given to me? Is there some kind of twisted etiquette that dictates how long I'm supposed to hold on to a piece of shitty paper folded in half that an old dying uncle paid entirely too much for? Christmas cards are like a stripper's underwear. Unpleasant, mushy, and I really only care about the money inside. Will you go to prom with me? I think it would be funny because I'm 23 years old and you're the creator of all that exists and has existed, so neither of us really have any reason to be there. Also, if I saw anybody twerking, I could point them out and you could incinerate them with a bolt of lightning. Why did you make it so that sometimes when you crack open an egg, a malformed baby chicken comes out? Do you want that tiny abortion to serve as a grim reminder that we're all monsters? Are you trying to make a statement about how terrible abortion is? If so, you're going about it all wrong because eggs are delicious. If you want us to hate abortion so bad, why did you make it taste so good? And finally, why did you make it so that sometimes I have an itch but I can't find the source, so I just end up frantically scratching every part of my body until I land somewhere close enough that I can just barely make it better? This leads me to believe that you're actually Satan. I hope these questions gave you something to think about while you're sitting up there doing nothing like a freeloader. Enjoy the rest of your day, which ostensibly is forever, and if you can, please bring to me in a dream the secret to being a successful YouTube personality. Do I have to suck Hank Green's dick? Because I will gladly suck Hank Green's dick. Yep. Ugh. Can you give me a really funny Twitter hashtag? Try not to make it about rape this time.